What is going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. I am cold, so cold. We got that polar thing coming down. This winter has been just horrible, man.
I dream of it.
I don't dream of it at all. It's a nightmare that I'm living through. I just scared myself, by the way, because the audio check came through and I didn't realize it and startled the crap out of me. So, great. It was a great night. I'm actually going to leave that in there because I want to hear me scare myself. Yeah, I know I'm not too bright, Pickle. Wanna say hi to everybody? Say hi. I don't think anybody can see you. I can barely see you. You're in front of the microphone. This cat crawls all over me, follows me around, even meets me at the door. But if I hold him, he freaking hates it, man. Right? Oh, you like them neck scratches, though. Yeah, you do. Oh, my goodness. So we had a real life potential catastrophe. Our water slowed down and our drain started to back up. So we have a crawl space under the house. And here, you want to get down? We have a crawl space under the house, and the access door had blown open in the wind. So freezing cold air was getting inside the house, at least underneath. Started wreaking havoc on our pipes. Frozen pipes, the water will get in there, it'll freeze, and then it expands, and then it breaks the pipes. And then when it thaws, you start having a bunch of leaks. So we had to get a torpedo heater, one of them propane things, run a cord down there to it, heat that area back up. I did have one pipe that went to an outside spigot that froze and expanded, popped off, but it was at a cutoff valve. Yes. And it didn't take long, but we did get everything undone, and it doesn't look like we have any problems. So, hooray. But that was yesterday's fun. I wouldn't call it fun, but at least it didn't cost me a whole bunch of money. Well, so that you don't accuse me of doing clickbait, tonight's main focus is going to be our skill tree. I gotta admit that I have paid very little attention to this. A lot of what I've done was for achievements. You know, you got to get 25 kills with the Hunter Seeker and all this stuff and things like that. So, you know, I've never even used this. I don't even know why I haven't. But I could be a lot more efficient and I could have a lot better time in this game if I were to respec my trees more towards my playing style. And once you get through, and if you're caring about those things, once you get through the achievements, then it's a little rattly. Once you get through the achievements and you don't need to do this stuff anymore, like I haven't done this since, get them off of there. That's a skill point that could be used someplace else. And with Chapter 3 coming, they're going to do specializing in skills, which I don't want to give away too much, but, you know, if you're, say when you play this game, you want to do more farming than anything else, you'll be able to go to the planetologist, where you'll see they got these higher yields and more efficient drivers, better compaction. You'll be able to put more points into these to make these skills even better. So before the season drops, I want to get myself straightened out because I am not. So what we're going to do, I have looked through these skills and thought about what I want to do. I'm not going to vary too much from my current playstyle. So I prefer the melee and ranged attacks. I don't need heavy stuff. I don't even use heavy weapons. I do more resource gathering and farming then I do other things. I mean, combat's required, but NPC combat's not that difficult. So I want to definitely stay focused on planetologist stuff for the farming aspects of it. And I want to basically mix,
Weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
of course, I want to mix a little bit of trooper into the mix, as well as swordmaster. There are some other things. Let's see, where is it? Like here, range damage. Pistol damage, I don't even really use pistols, but it'd be nice to get a little bonus for my range damage. There's somebody has, is it the Mentat or is it the Bene Gesserit? Here you go. So Bene Gesserit skills for blade damage. There's also, like, here's a short blade, which would be like the Kinjal and stuff, but I use long blades, so we're going to want to focus on the long blade damage. That's weird. It's somewhere, trust me. I thought it was under Mentat.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Headshot damage, definitely something that we're looking for. Pistol, rifle, ranged, exploit, garment keeper, tailoring, marksman, shield overcharge. Is it under swordmaster? Long blade damage. Hey, dumbass, it's under swordmaster. So, there's things that I want to focus on and things that I want to not focus on anymore. And I put a lot, like, these points here, they're not being used, especially like over in here, because we needed this litany against fear in order to get a achievement done, and haven't used it since. So we are going to respec our skill tree, and what that does is you'll see I have 0 skill points, although we probably are getting pretty close to getting some more. The thing about respecing your skill tree, you can do it, but it can only be done once every 48 hours. So if you do it and then you screw up and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, you got 48 hours to wait until you can do it again. Since it's our first time in, we haven't screwed anything up, and luckily I can't get it any worse. So boom, there we go. And now I have 194 points. Everything is empty. I am a sword master, so I get to keep that. That's what I chose when I first started. So, what I need to do here is I need to remember what I had down here at the bottom for my abilities. I'm going to stay with them while I change everything else, and then we'll adjust from that point on. So, I definitely want the knee charge in. From the trooper, I want the sugar wire. Boop, there we go. And then we're going to go to Bene Gesserit because I want to pick up the Bindu Sprint. So, why did I choose those? Well, the knee charge is great for when you get pinned or when you're trying to cover a distance in a combat situation. And it's a very quick, easy stunning attack. So it's good for pretty much kind of all female order. Why am I learning this? Anyway, but yeah, so, and it's one that I at least am good with and I do use. You guys have probably never seen it, but I do. The sugar wire claw, the same thing. First off, it's, really good for maneuvering terrain, but you can also, boom, tag a person and kind of stagger them. And I want to do that a lot more. I stopped using the sugar wire once I got suspensor belts, but I need to get back into it. And then the reason we're going to do Bindu Sprint is because I want to get that extra sprint ability for like deep desert areas and to get through certain spots in like testing stations, things like that. So those are the 3 that I really, really seriously want. And I'm also going to go ahead and spend the points, because I obviously got them. But I'm going to spend the points here to get these to their maximum level. So there's my Bindu Sprint. Here's my Knee Charge. And then finally, here's my Shigawire Claw. So there we are. And now I still have 177 points to do all sorts of other things. Because I do more PvE stuff and gathering, we want to focus pretty heavily on the planetologist. When Chapter 3 comes out, it's going to be set up kind of the same way as this, to where you can advance just a single skill tree specialization, or you could do 2 or 3 or all of them. Basically, the more you focus on one, the faster it'll go. It's still going to take a while, but technically with enough time, you'll be able to max all of them out. It's going to take a lot of time. It'll take like a year from what the original people were saying. That might change. I don't know. But when specialization comes in, I am personally going to kind of mix between the hunter and the gatherer. I do want to get better at combat and dealing with players in PvP. And at the same time, my favorite thing to do in this game is to collect stuff and process things and stuff. So we're going to look here: scientist, explorer, and mechanic. This is all in the planetologist. So there are several of these that I definitely want to get. Let's see. So here's a perfect example: dew gathering, right? Careful manipulation of the Holtzman field on the Dew Reaper allows you to increase the water yield. This would be a terrible skill for me to get because I don't use the damn thing anymore. I did have it before because, try to get all the skills and stuff. But so we don't need to go that route. Rerouting. Tinkering with your power pack allows you to increase the recharge rate. Here we have deep analysis. Bonus yields with the cutter array. Bonus yields with the compactor. And your power pack overcharging. And then when you focus your efforts, you can reduce the power drain of every action that you take. And this is actually a technique, so that goes in over here. So let's look at these guys individually, right? Dew gathering. Useless skill for me. I'm not going to use it. I don't want to have it. Rerouting. Anytime you get some power pack increase, I get a little bit of power regeneration. It's a little faster. That's a good one. So this one is an option. I do want to get at least a bit of this. I'm not sure whether it's all that important, because this used to be huge for spice, but now I use the crawler, so I don't really use the compactor anymore. And I'm not hard up for flower sand. So this is nice with the bonus yields with the cutter array, but again, I mainly use the buggy for things I'm doing now. So it is quite possible that under the scientist category, I may not do anything. Here I can get vehicle cutter ray yield. Like I said, I use the cutter ray on the buggies all the time now. It's not that I don't use the cutter ray, the handheld, but there's very few things that I can't get with the buggy. So I'm going to, because the buggy has a bigger yield and can hold more. Even in shoal, in the radiation, I'm driving around in a buggy. So I'm going to lean into that because it just comes naturally to me. And we are going to at least unlock this because I want to get a higher yield with my thing. Now, also, this does give me a 4% increase in the yield that I get from the handheld, 15 for the buggy, whereas this one One of them is just for cut arrays. Right here. This one is vehicle mining, so this one only affects the buggy cut array. But we want to get this, and I would like to advance that even further. I'm gonna hold off on it right now. There's really nothing in here that I desperately need. I would like to have that. That would be nice as well, but power's not really an issue. I don't really do compacting anymore, so I can skip that. This is going to go with the handheld cutter array, which I'm not going to use that often. And I mean, this would be nice, but I've got to spend a lot of points at least to get up to that. So right now we're going to hold off. I want to definitely put a pin in this bad boy here, possibly come back and do it again. Suspensor pad. Drop a suspensor device that launches yourself and targets into the air, useful for navigation and traversal. I think I'm good. I've got my suspensor belt, and I got a sugar wire, and pretty nimble. Cartographer. I can create sync charts of the areas revealed by your surveys. I would think that this is not a skill that I would want, but it wouldn't surprise me if future situations would call for this. I'm not going to buy it now, but I may want to have some points available. Mountaineer, you're better at finding handholds and footholds while climbing, reducing your stamina drain. This would be nice, but I try to stay off of walls. And very, very few times, there's sometimes during the campaign that you do have to do a ton of climbing. And since I've done those, I can't tell you the last time I was really super excited about climbing walls. So the issue here is if I want something higher up, I'm going to have to get one of these. So cartographer, maybe this. Still suit seals. You have no formal training in the still suit. You've adjusted several seal and tabs that must properly fit. Your water reclamation. Early days of the game, this was a skill that I was like, ooh, that's cool. My still suit works better. Now I've got plenty of water in my base. I know how to get it. I don't run out, and it's not really an issue. It's an issue, but it's an issue that I know how to deal with. Scanner mastery. Become proficient with the handheld scanner. Ooh. You do use the scanner, but I think the range is fine. Spice surveyor. Through research and field experience, you've learned to recognize the density of a spice bed from surveys. This ability is of most use in the deep desert. So this is interesting. When you look at this, you think, okay, well, that means that, it's why you'll see different colors and stuff, and the thickness and the fact that something's more purple than the other. If this skill was going to matter, then they need to stop doing it like a paintball. Take the center. It's where the most is. Like to see a guy. You know what? I'm purposely going to leave that. I think I had it last time. But I want to leave that, and then I want to go out and look at a spice field, see if it looks any difference. So, very questionable as to whether any of this matters. Vehicle repair. This is a skill that matters to me. I've got a lot of vehicles, and they break down. I can make replacement parts, but if I can get a little more time out of them, we're good. Fuel efficient driver. Driving ground cars has taught you several different techniques. Now it says driving ground cars. This applies to all types of ground vehicles. Okay, I was going to say. I would assume that obviously the sand bike is, a one-man sand car, and then the buggy is a four-man sand car. Why they call them bikes and buggies now, I don't know. But I wonder if the treadwheel, if you use it, gets into this. And it does say all types, so I'm assuming it works. But I'm good on fuel management, so if I skip that, it's not a bad deal. Vehicle mining. This is a cutter array yield. We're definitely going for that. So from here, heat management, right? And that requires prescience. I don't normally use prescience, so I don't have to get all the way up to the top. We've got sandcrawler yield, which we definitely want. We're great on spice right now, but that is something we definitely want. Vehicle scanning, I'm not too worried about. This would be nice because it's all of them, but in order to get that, I'm going to have to be more efficient here. In order to snap up there and get it, I'm going to have to do heat management. It says where and how to shift the vehicle to reduce heat buildup. But only with prescience, so. It would be hard for me to find a reason to care about this. I mean, when I do have to do scanning with the vehicle, like out in the deep desert looking for buried treasures and stuff, it's not very big, but I can deal with that. I would guess that if I'm going to do this, I would go here and then up to here. Because the heat management, I don't feel like I'm really going to get anything from that. It's not activating prescience very often, although they might make us. But I can see the value in both of these, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take both of them. But we're only going to be at level 1 on these skills. We're going to, like I said, come back and advance that later. But I'm uncertain as to when we do this specialization. If, like, I can just do mechanical specialization, or if from what I understand of what I've heard, again, it might change. It seems like it's going to kind of cover all these topics. Like, you'll move up to a level of specialization, and it'll give you a bonus to your mountain climbing. But I don't have the mountain climbing skill, you know? Like, yeah. So, we'll have to see. But, we're going to leave this here now. I've identified what are real high priorities for me and what I don't care about. And now we're going to move next to the trooper class. So I definitely wanted to get that up there. Battle hardened. Trooper training pairs with reality combat allows you to use your trooper abilities more often. Sugar wire will go. Explosive grenade. No, I'm okay. I mean, it was cool, but modified hunter seeker. So this is like you throw a dart and it's like a drone from Call of Duty. Tractor field. Use a training device to offset poor aim. The tractor field uses a modified Holtzman field to draw attacks towards its center. Attach it to an enemy. Any shot fired into the field will redirect into their center of mass. That's neat. But if I want to do that, I mean, why not just shoot them in the first place? I mean, it would kind of be nice to hit one of them big guys and then just do our thing. But anyway, reflexive reload. When your blood is saturated with melange. We'll skip it. Anti-gravity field. And a gravity field. Which is nice. I've used this quite often. So yeah, it just drops a mine down and then everybody gets slowed. In fact, this is, I think, one of them was the one I always used to drop on the ground for no reason all over the place. Maybe I should stay away from them. Suspensor dash. It's neat. I have used that. Suspensor efficiency would kind of be new. Collapse grenade. Death from above. While you're suspended in the air, any attacks using weapons will have a damage bonus. And then suspensor blast. I used this. It was neat to stun people, but range damage. So I definitely want to do this. And let's see. Scattergun is with the drill shot, and I do use that often. Don't really use the disruptor. increasing damage that hits the body or shields, but reducing your damage by headshots. I don't like that. For something like this, so my headshot damage is minus 25, but I get 10% body, 10% blade, 10% shield. I kind of realistically have to look at what I experience when I'm doing combat. I can pull a headshot if I need to. So to get a 25% damage, what makes me wonder about this is it's still enough to kill them. A lot of times, Masquerade and your NPC people will die pretty quick. I don't know the effect that's going to have on another player. I don't really use disruptors. I don't really use heavy weapons. I do use scatter guns. You know how to strip down and clean your gear, slowing the durability cost of firing weapons and tools in a hostile. What's up, Zach? Hey. They don't break enough for me to be super excited. You're skilled with the repair of weapons and tools, reducing the maximum durability cost of each repair. If it gets bad enough, I'll make a new one. Heavy weapon damage, energy capsule, pop an energy capsule, which fills you with a concoction of nerve stimulants and pain dampeners. You can attach, allowing better targeting and range damage. Not really a whole lot here that I'm getting super awesome excited about. I mean, obviously we wanted the sugar wire and range damage we want to increase. I would like to pick up the scatter gun, but can't happen. What you need to ask, buddy? So with that, we're going to move on to Swordmaster. So this blade damage, we are definitely going to pick up at least one. I'm going to go away from the Dance of Blades from right now. Retaliate, but long blade damage. Different colors and such for your gear. So from standing right here, we'll jump real quick to answer a question. Just from standing around, you're going to hit I to go into your inventory like normal, and you'll see this big list up here. And under the U key, or you could just hit U straight from it, will be your customization. And that's going to give you weapons, like guns. It'll give you your bladed weapons. It will give you clothing, armor, still suits, and it will also give you vehicles. So you can see all this stuff is listed here, but if I go to clothing, and I got my scout helmet, let's do my chest plate, right? This is what I have equipped. If I click on it, this shows you all of the different types of variants that I have for those. So these are the kind that, like, sometimes you get them through quests. Here I have, like, this is the Bene Gesserit vestments. This is the Mentat ones. These are from progressing to a certain point or maxing out, I think, the quest line for the skills. So that's how you get different variances. But to make colors, you need these things called swatches. You can get the House Atreides or Harkonnen one if you do the quest line. And each one of the houses in the Landsrad have color swatches. And then there's some basic ones, like this one is for completing stuff in Vermilius Gap. This is the Mala one. This is the Chom one, etc. To get these different color swatches, you'll need to be in a guild, and you can have access to the Landsrat. When you complete a task, like this one is House Canola, and they want me to deliver Mark 6 heal kits. If I get enough, they give me 221 for each one. They'll give me 221 points for each one I give them. If I give them enough to get 14,000 points, they will give me the heavy armor swatch, which means if I hit U and go to customize, then I go to garments, I can go down to heavy armor, and underneath these swatches will be House Canola. I already have it, so there you go. But this shows you what color it is, and then you just click on it, and it changes the color for it. So that is how you get different color for your gear. You can do the same thing. There's just like all those Landsrad ones are armor or still suit. So it's either going to be scout armor, heavy armor, or still suits that you could change the color of. You can't change weapons to the house ones because they don't have any except for House Harkin and House Atreides. They do have different variants for completing different quests in the game. But I'm assuming they're going to have more swatches for those. And then vehicles is the same kind of concept here. There are no house colored ones. There is just these guys. These you get through quest lines by completing them. And as it says, customize your vehicles via a welding torch. So what you have to do with that is, oh, I got one equipped. Look at that. If you do this and you go to customize, you have variants. And then you can hit this button over here and you have swatches. So I could run, let's go over here. I can click on this and it shows me all the different colors that I have an option to. I just use the Mala swatch, but I could change it to the green for House Atreides if I want, etc. So that's how you do it. Do some quest lines. If you want the clothing, you're going to have to join a guild or be part of a guild and max out the contribution for one of the many houses that are in here. There are some people that took the time to get all of these. Oh, you know what? Let me point out one more thing, because there's another way to get points is, you see this little symbol here? This shows that the control point out in the deep desert is under, in my case, House Atreides control. If you go out in the deep desert and you find one that's not taken, like it's neutral, or if it's a bad guy one, you can capture it, and this will slowly give you, as you can see here, control point held by Atreides per minute while holding the control point is 10. So let's say you went out there, you took it, and you held it for 30 minutes. You get 300 points added to your personal contribution. Otherwise, to get the House Vernius still suit armor swatch, I'm going to have to deliver Regis drill shots. Luckily, it's only like 11 of them. Some of these things can get pretty heavy, like House Rachis here. I'll get 6 for Spice Milan. So if I give them 500, they'll give me 3,000. It's a little rough. What I usually do is, let's see, we'll find one here. So this one here. As you can see, I am currently at 11,760. I already have House Sita's heavy armor swatch, so I don't need it. But I wanted that focus buggy cutter ray. If you're going to go for the 10,000 point one, finish it off. Do whatever you have to do, get to that 14, get that armor thing. If you're only going after, say, the 3,500, that's too much of a distance to try to cover. Don't worry about it. But yeah, if you go in for 10, definitely go for 14. If you go for 7, whatever that reward is, I mean, you got some thinking to do. If you're going for 3,500, don't worry about it. It's too far to cross. And at first, anything you get is going to be awesome because it's brand new. Eventually, you'll have to start paying attention to make sure that you don't already own the swatch for that. But that's how you do it. That's how you change your colors, buddy. Unfortunately, I don't know what quest lines give you those swatches, so can't help you with that. Sorry. Let's go back to skills. We are back at Swordmaster, and I need this, so I'm gonna have to get one of these two. So I've done this Dance of Blades, which gives me a melee boost, but to be honest, it's questionable as to whether it works. I don't know if I had Retaliate, but I thought I did have a, after the missions, where do I get to loot? It just drops, man. It's just part of the reward. If you do the Landsrad stuff, you have to go and visit those House representatives. And when you go around the map, you'll find them like this would be the House Hagal representative. So after the week, when the Landsrad week is done, which take this with a grain of salt because apparently they're changing the Landsrad. So after the 5th, it might be a totally different process. If it is, I will update you. But yeah, it's possible that this could change. It's supposed to have differences where they're going to allow solo players to contribute to the Landsrad. Whether it's, I'm not sure how it works. Really, I'm not sure how it works. But they're supposed, at least they've claimed that solo players will now be able to participate in their own way to the Landsrad and earn some of these rewards. So that might change in a week. So as it stands now, what I said is true, but come the 6th, it may not be what we're looking at. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna hit K for skills. So I've done this. It's 2 skill points. I actually saw this was funny. I saw some guildmates who were just bored, so they were fighting. And they were sword fighting. And the one guy did this. And that savage riposte was like an automatic attack. So it was parry and counterattack. And he actually downed and then killed the guy. We weren't supposed to kill each other. We're just supposed to down them and be like, I won, etc. But I got to pick one of the 2 of these. I've done this one before, so it's just a attack bonus. But I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to spend points here because I want long blade damage. So I use the rapier. That's just my personal preference. But I'll tell you what, just because of the situation, we're not going to wait and see where we stand. I'm going to go ahead and had to jump off of it. I'm going to go ahead and up the I'm going to go ahead and up the blade damage, and because it's what I use. So this actually works out pretty well. Parry and counterattack with the precise attack that damages their arm and numbs them. For a short period of time, the damage output's reduced. Eye of the Storm. This was really a cool effect. But never used it after that. This would be good when they pin you into corners, but precise parry. Interesting. So we got deflection. You enter a defensive stance, deflecting darts that are fired at you. This ability lasts as long as your stamina holds out. Okay. Bleed tolerance, reckless lunge, competence, solid stance, and thrive on danger. Okay, so bleed tolerance is you don't bleed as well. That's like the continuing damage. I'd rather focus on not getting hit than things that happen when I get hit. Reckless lunge, I don't do that very often. Lunging, I mean, I will lunge to a certain point, but it never seems to be a problem. Every time you attempt a difficult attack, like a sprint attack or a slow blade, you gain increased confidence. Reflects as damage mitigation. It's interesting. I mean, it says every time you attempt. You're welcome, Zach. Hope it helps out, bud. It says attempt. So, like, if you stab somebody and they dodge away, do you still get credit for this? You've learned to avoid being knocked around by enemy attacks. You can take more poise damage before being staggered. This is actually really handy. Unfortunately, the only way I'd have to do it is to get some bleed tolerance, and I would have to get the deflection ability as well. And then thrive on danger. When you're low on health, you regenerate health faster, receive less poise damage, and reduce all stamina costs. Mm. In many different games, they'll have situations like this where you can take a skill that helps you not die when you're about to die. And my personal preference on that is I would rather put my points into keeping me from getting to the stage where this is kicking in than have this to have it kick in. Um, yeah, I would much rather not get to this point than have something cool happen when I got to that point. So, we did already do the knee charge, optimize hydration. Hmm. Field medicine. You recover more health immediately when using health kits due to your excellent conditioning. Well, thank you. Crippling strike. I've used this before. Um, disciplined breathing. You inspire yourself and your companions to greater heights, increasing the damage of your melee attack. This is actually kind of interesting, but it is a kick ability, and uh, by kick ability I mean it's an ability I have to actively turn on, and I've already kind of got those three. I would definitely want to look for some stop signs, which are techniques. Oh yeah, the timing is it can be fun. It's easier to just dodge away, but I've gotten several of the parries. It was actually quite a while before I realized you could parry a deep stab or a heavy attack because NPCs will rear back and when they come in. But took me a while to learn it. But yeah, find some NPCs that aren't really a threat, um, like scavengers and stuff in Vermilious Gap. Once you've moved on, and you could practice on that, get used to the timing. Your extensive physical training has increased your maximum stamina. You have trained yourself to deal with the rigors of the desert, decreasing your max stamina loss while dehydrated. Okay, so this is cool that you don't lose stamina when you're dehydrated. Don't get dehydrated. Prescient strike. After using a swordmaster ability, next strike will strike twice, reflecting two possible versions of the future converging in a single space time. That is cool. The best skill is the Bindu sprint. They can't stab you if you can Bindu for 1,000 meters. It's true. Can't kill a guy if he ain't standing there. So basically, for this, I'm intrigued. Um, I would use a. So it says after using any swordmaster ability, which maybe would require changing one of these two, which at the moment I don't want to do, but I do have knee charge, so I could do a knee charge, and then it says your next strike will strike twice, which is actually pretty interesting. This I would only, and then you have to be pressing it to do it. So it's not really something you're going to use on an NPC. That would be something that would use on other players. Okay, so quite honestly, this was what I really wanted. There are some really interesting things here, but we're going to. Okay, so I'm at 152 points, which is still a ton. I've only used like 40 some. And besides not having these built yet, I've actually got what I personally feel are kind of the necessity ones. Um, okay, so here's another good one under Benny Gesserit, which is blade damage. Here you have short blade, but this is again just a regular blade. So we're gonna pop at least one there. Passive learned. Weirding step. You force a single enemy to ignore you while moving with superhuman speed behind them. That's a cool idea, but show me an NPC that I need to do this with. You know? Prana Bindu strikes. You tap into your training to deliver a rapid series of powerful, painful strikes to enemies. This attack leaves them temporarily staggered. I believe this is what the Masquerite do to me every so often. Which is pretty interesting that they have that skill. Bindu dodge. Okay, ignore. It would be neat to sneak around, but so this was a big part of the Dune universe with the Bene Gesserit using the voice. I have difficulty finding how to make this translate over. First off, I feel like enemies in this game, the NPCs, have incredible eyesight. They will pick me out of so many places. Sometimes it's hard to hide from them, especially when you're doing like testing stations, things like that. And it's very strange because I've actually like cut the door open on a hidden cave, and the dude was standing there with his back to me, and he never even noticed. Then I've also had times where they were 100, 200 meters away from me, and all of a sudden I'm taking bullets from a guy that's like, dude, I didn't see you, and I have, I'm real. So, um, like you could make them ignore you, which is cool, because if he's shooting at you, then you make him stop, and this could help to deal with certain enemies, especially the really bad ones, like the chain gunners, flamethrowers, especially if there's one or two. But it's not going to last that long, and just deal with them. I mean, go up there and stab them, shoot them in the face head. It didn't seem that, like, I haven't figured out how to use this or in situations where the voice really did anything for me. I would love to, but recovery, you're able to heal your body more efficiently. I'm sorry, effectively after suffering cataract injury. Trauma, sun tolerance, poison tolerance, self-healing, vitality, induced ability. Hmm. Okay, hold on. We're going to come back to this. So, the body control also has some weird consequences by choosing them. There are people who are, more active at building a skill tree than I am, and they will have it so that they've got so much stamina, so much anti-knock or stagger that they literally just can't be, and they are able to regenerate or replenish their stamina to the point where you'll never be able to melee kill them because they're just going to keep scooting away. Even if you stun them with a Shigawire or something like that, they'll get away. And that's where you see some of the things like this happen, right? A lot of points too. Trauma recovery. Use your own body to effectively heal catastrophe, improving both the rate at which healing occurs and the amount. So this makes your healing packs work a hell of a lot better, which is always a good thing. Sun tolerance. Sunstroke rate's down to 90%. I'm assuming that it means it's 90% of what it should be. So if it takes 10 seconds, it would only take, you're going to take like 11. So it's 90% of what it would be. I guess that would be like, yeah, you get the idea. It slows the rate that you take sunstroke. That actually probably would be good for me because I stand out in the sun like an idiot all the time. The reason I was getting all silly is because metabolize poison. my internal systems to the extent that any poison you take can quickly be catalyzed and removed from your system. Furthermore, attempts to poison you will not succeed, providing that you have enough stamina to fuel the process. I like this because it takes one more thing away from the Masquerade. Because they like to poison me all the time. And also going down to Shoal, I try to get, they tend to get poisoned a whole lot. Whoa, we got some spice coming in. The litany against fear is neat. Your allies have boosted damage mitigation and stagger resistance for the duration. So, it's interesting. Combined poison nerves and muscles are able to resist being staggered by reducing all incoming poison damage. This is one of those things I was talking about, to where somebody that it basically like makes you so hard to stagger. Carefully into the balance much, you can increase your overall health. So, body control actually is really. I'm gonna spend some points in this place. I stand out in the sun like an idiot, but it's manageable. I can deal with it. Although there might be some value in this. So this was my first technique that I got, and it auto-equipped. I can unequip it if I don't want it. But yeah, we finally picked up a technique that we like. I don't see you. Does it work against other players, though? In time value, you can increase your overall health. So I did have this active at one point, and my health bar would actually fill up, and then it would go a little bit more, which was always nice. This is happening. The good thing about this is it just happens, and it's on here. I don't have to put a bunch of points into it, so that's actually kind of nice. Also, look at this. It gets expensive. Like down here, it costs me 1 skill point to get this. Whenever you want to advance something, it costs a little more. So these are like 3 skill points. So this number's going to keep dropping down as we get higher. You can increase your overall health. I think we're going to pick up one on each side. It's not like I think. Which one? This one? Takes longer to reach damaging levels. Okay, I get you. So we didn't need that, but wasted a point. It'll be okay. I got 48 hours before I can do it again. So that'll slow it down, but I guess this will stop it completely. So yeah, it was a wasted point. That's what happens. All right, so Benny Gesserit, I think, is done. Like I said, the voice I'm not going to focus too much on. I think it's worth doing more blade damage. Although it does cost a lot. We're going to be using a whole lot of swordsmanship here. And now some Mentat stuff, right? So I like this range damage. We're going to have to pick up one of those. I wonder what happens when you combine this with the center mass, if you can. So if you pick up more headshot damage, but then you have a penalty for headshot damage. Garment Keeper I'm okay with. Tailoring I'm okay with. Exploit weakness. You learn to observe your enemies and predict their weaknesses based on 1,000 minutia. When you damage an unshielded enemy with a ranged weapon, the hit location becomes a weak point that you can target to increase the damage of subsequent attacks. Only one weak point may be visible at a time. Interesting. Pistol damage, don't use them. Rifle damage, I do, the spit dart, but I'm going to have to get either one of these two in order to get that, and I don't know that I'm willing to, and I don't need to use shield overcharge, so we're actually okay there. Even more headshot damage. Man, they are really pushing the headshot damage here. Poison mine abused. Stunner. You have a hidden dart dispenser that fires off a specially prepared sedative tip dart. On the impact, this dart stuns the enemy, locking the muscles, rendering them unable to move or attack. It's interesting. Wonder how effective that is. Gives you 6 seconds. What does it do against a shielded enemy? Huh. No, I don't want a Hunter Seeker. Hearten up. Okay, gotcha. Poison Tooth. Okay, so this is cool because it'll kill the guy that killed you, but honestly, they walk away usually once they down you. And I don't want to do something that's designed to happen when I get killed. Dusk Corner Advantage. You deal additional damage to your enemies when shooting them in the back. I don't feel like I get to shoot people in the back quite enough. The decoy's cute. Gravity Mine is cute. Anti-gravity mine. Iron Will. It builds such a strong sense of self. Damn it, I'm me and I know who I am. That you're able to alter your thought patterns to avoid the manipulations of the Benny Judge or voice at the cost of stamina. At least those lesser practitioners. Yeah, I mean, if people are using the voice on you, that's a good thing to go. Everyone loves this because they drop this on the ground and then that allows them to run power for longer. This is a common technique that people use to destroy people's equipment. They will throw this down and then they will pull out a las gun and you can fire the las gun forever, enough to destroy things. So somebody who's out there going for on the Bene Gesserit tree, okay. We're gonna head back to it, so I'll check it then, Zach. This is what the ambushers use. The people that want to take things away from you. Yeah, the gankers. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Perhaps if we end up getting nefarious, we'll make use of that. But for right now, I think we're good. Let me eat my cookie. So we have upped our main attribute, our main abilities. So all of them are as strong as they can be. So awesome. Exactly what we need to do. From this point on, I've got 133 points, and we need to start spending them. So I want to make the stuff that I have already a little better. This one I'm probably going to pick up. And this one too. But let's see. Let's make sure. We've got certain skills that we purposefully wanted. So range damage. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pick up level 3 there. We're down to 126. Then That's range damage. I want to make sure. Yep, that is good. Wanted to make sure that we got our long blade damage much better. And our blade damage here is good. There you go. That's what you're talking about, Zach. Yep. This one. Vitality. Increase your overall health. Gotcha. All right. So I'm going to spend quite a bit of points in this body control section. Everything that I've done here except for that one is actually what I consider for me pretty useful technique. But I want to say one thing, that this is a little weird because a lot of these skills are like, okay, so regenerating your health to a higher threshold than normal. So this affects your health regen limit. Is it better to spend a point, some skill points here so that your health regenerates, betting on the eventuality that you're going to get hurt? Or would it be better to spend the points in a manner that will keep you from getting hurt in the first place? That is one of the tricksy little things here that you have to pay attention with is, regenerating your health to a higher threshold than normal. So my health regen limit, 50% more. I honestly think that instead of focusing on the regen limit, maybe boosting the effectiveness is going to be better. This one here, we're definitely going to pump some points into, but it gets pricey. It's 4 points, 3, so we're at 7. Max health would be 40 at that point. Because it'd be a shame to spend a whole bunch of points on boosting your health and then nobody ever breaks your shield. I mean, when does that happen? I've had my shield broken quite a few times. But I think we're going to double both of these. Sun tolerance I'm going to be okay with. That we're going to leave alone. And we'll go ahead and double that one. Feel like that's a decent place to be standing. All right, so let's look at some weapon damage. We got a ranged there. I still want to pick up the scatter guns. And I still have one thing here. But I don't want to take this because I don't want to lose. I mean, I could take it, but I'm going to lose that headshot. I'll tell you what, we're going to take it, but I'm not going to equip it. That'll be something that we're going to try to learn a little bit about. But this mainly gives me the scatter gun, which is what I really wanted. And I don't care about the rest of those. Become detached. 35 on range damage. That's pretty hefty, but I don't want to replace skills yet. I'm going to double my scatter gun damage. I do use it a lot, and we'll probably do the same thing for a regular rifle as well. That stuff we didn't care about, or that stuff. Okay, so that was troopering. Range damage. Let's pump this one up. It's nice that I can make this 3 while this still stays 1. There, that's what I wanted. So this guy here gives me 10% increase in body damage, 10% in blade, and 10% in shield, but it minus 25 headshot. Where if I pick this one up, I'll get 10% headshot, but I lose all those extra bonuses. Any game that you play usually has bonuses to damage for headshots. Shoot something in the head, does a lot more damage. I would say probably half of what I shoot is shooting at a headshot. I'm wondering, I don't feel for me. Now, let's say I wasn't that good. Go back to the sword master tree. Give me a second. I rely on headshot damage too much to take this. So I'm actually going to take marksman. And this gives me the rifle damage bonus as well. And this we're going to unequip, and I'll equip this one. I'd rather have a 10% bonus on one thing I do than 10% on 3 things that I do, but minus 25 on the one thing I do more. So that's where we're going to stay. Exploit weakness. You say you want to go back to the sword master. What you got me looking at, man? Oh, that's handy. Disciplined breathing. I think we're going to definitely put 1 point into that. Stay watered pretty well. More stamina would be a bad thing. Skill in the middle. You mean this one here, the Thrive on Danger? Confidence reflects its damage mitigation. Bleed tolerance and a reckless lunge. Are you talking about this one? Disciplined breathing. Focus takes you can recuperate your stamina reserves more quickly. The trauma recovery, the poison control, and then the marksman might go. But again, if I have to lose the 10%, it wouldn't be so bad. We'll play with it, see what this does. Alright, so I've still got 95 points left, and we now are going to take a little trip and say hello to our Masquerade friends. And we're going to see how different we act. Whoop. We might as well do a semi run for materials. This will be actually a great spot to start right here.
Who goes there? Eyes on target.
That's weird. I'm used to the green sword. Nope, I'm over here now.
Enemy found.
Blocking him heavy attacks. Missed it. Sitting there running my mouth. Okay. Yay, we're going to jump up in the air for some reason. We do need to pick up bodies. As you can see, we started picking some up earlier. We need to replenish that. Ooh. And in my updated video, which made me look like an idiot, never saw this this happy little guy laying over here. Don't really need that. That's a real low quantities, man. First time I went over there, I had like 20 of something on there. Alright, let's go cause trouble. When in doubt, run through the front door, right? We are stuck in our own thopter. It's awesome. So I comment on how I can never sneak up on people, and here we're sneaking up on these idiots. So they're dying real nice and quick. I need one of these guys to try to poison me, actually, to see if what I chose actually made any sense. Actually, should have gone the other way, right? Because that one died first, so that one will disappear quicker. Wow, dude. Little pockets were full. Has that gun been laying over there all this time? Which gun? We talking about here, Wired? Or are you talking about like up there? Or are you just messing with me to make me look stupid? Oh, it went, Oh, has that guy? I thought it was a gun. Oh, yeah, that guy's... No, that is a recent update change. I can't admit to myself that that guy's been up there the whole time. People are saying that he's been up there the whole time, but I don't think that was the update they just did the other day, because I would have felt terrible having missed that guy. But yeah, he's been up there the whole time, Wired. I didn't know either. I had mentioned it in that little follow-up video that I talked about. We'll come down here and kill these douchebags in a second. But I used to live over there, over the Vermilius Gap. So I think when I came here, whoa, when I came here, I got up here and looked. And as you can see, there's nothing to look at. And it's not until you get closer that you'll see that little red dot, even at night. And I think what happened to me was I used to come at this place and I would hit the airfield here and deal with them, and then I would come over here, and when I checked, I'm pretty sure I came in just like this. And then I looked around and there's nothing here, and I didn't see that because I never even got out. So yeah, it's been there. Back in September? Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. It's only been far too many months of me ignoring him. Alright, let's do something silly. Because normally what I would do is oh, they're just walking. Normally what I would do is I would stand here and pick them off from a distance. Let's put some more bullets in there. I actually need quite a few because I have a bunch. Boy, they're so far away they don't even look like real people. They're like little tar things. That's how we do it here. I don't think that's going to kill him. Oh, wrong button. I don't think that's going to kill him, but we're going to go down here with our rapier out. And we're going to see how well we can handle these. I don't understand why the melee people sometimes just run and hide. Oh, there's a bunch down here too. This is crazy. Oh, she tried, didn't she? She's still trying. Ooh, I'm out of stamina. Shield is holding, but yeah, stamina is an issue. All right. We're just gonna stand there? Huh? Getting a little hectic here. Ah, that's nifty. That's working real well. Health is alright. I think I missed that second shot. That's what I wanted. Is that eating away stamina? Kept it from happening, though. Alright, you. Hi! We are definitely... How'd you get up here? Oh, I'm screwed now. Can't say I'm liking that auto target. So I got 2 of them dingles. Everything else seems okay. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. That's how you do it. Alright, that's interesting. It's going to take a little while to get used to. I can't fly in here. Oh, I can. I got a lot of dead people here. Normally that would have killed me. My stamina did drop and did come back, but I was pushing it a lot. And that did kind of interfere with, Have a good one, Zach. Take care, man. There's a guy, there's a sniper dude all the way up there. Sorry, hit the journey. Yeah, there's a sniper guy all the way up there. He just watched me totally. Oh. Am I really? Crap. Alright, well, looks like we're... I don't want to drink these guys anyway, they suck. Hmm. Stabbed you in the butt. Sorry about that. Might as well collect this stuff while we're here. I'm not going to go up the hill. I swear somebody shot at me. So I had a real fun moment one time before I could handle this fight. It was tough. And I was running around looking for chests, looking for things. I was like, oh, got to get the diamondine dust, got to get all this stuff, etc. And I was running around through here, and then those guys respawned. And like an idiot, I just like ran down one of these side passages here. It was like, haha! And they killed me. I think they killed me twice before I managed to get out of there. Like, you know, the... Guess they're up on the hillside up here? But anywho, I digress. But yeah, they used to kill me. So we're going to have to start using skills a little more. I, like I said, am not that used to using skills. Mine were more of not a combat skill. It was more doing like farming, things like that. So this is going to be definitely a different style of fighting and playing for me. I've still got some points. We're going to make some better use of those. Oh, there they are. That's where them... Oh. Someday I hope to get in this building. All sorts of crazy sounds going on today. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Just the merchant guy? I think it is, yeah. It's going to be an even longer time before we do it. That game's running terrible. Is there a storm? That usually happens when there's a storm. Let's see one, though. Okay, so this is my standard dump box. We're just going to drop everything in there. We'll sort it out later. body we're going to sort out now. I used almost all of the dudes I had stored up the last time I was out in the deep desert. And I didn't get much playing time this week with the weather acting stupid. So we ended up getting this box full. And this is the other box. We only got one guy in there. But now we've got some friends. So there you are. Now you don't have to be all sad and lonely inside of here all by yourself. Got other corpses to hang out with. So, anywho, I think we're going to call it here. I've got some more videos to work on. I am going to be doing, I said this before, we're going to be doing one on repair or replace, depending on how it needs to, you know, what you want to do. For veteran players, they probably already have that figured out, but this is kind of like for the newer guys. So we got that one. I've also got one that I'm working on. I just started collecting some of the footage for it. That is about my issues with PvP, and we'll give you a little bit of a early showing of this. You don't see me doing PvP very often. Let me put it out there. I do not shy away from PvP. Playing Destiny 2. I was in the Crucible all the time. Loved it. Had so much fun. Sometimes I hated it. But, you know, Crucible, Iron Banner, Trials. So I didn't shy away from PvP in that game. Played Call of Duty, multiple versions of Call of Duty, multiple versions of Battlefield. So PvP against another player is not something that I shy away from. What I don't like is I don't feel like there's enough options in Dune's PvP to make it non-generic. You have all those different skills that you can make changes to, but when it comes down to it, you know, it's stabbing. There's no multiple sets of combos. Yeah, I could Shigawire somebody and, you know, hook them in the face and etc. But it's just a very janky combat for me. And I don't like that. Also, I think they missed something with trying to make this a PvP game, because you look at my character right here, my little guy. If I go out and kill 100 players, how can I make him look any different? Is there a way? I mean, we're gamers. We like skins. We like titles. We like silly things. Just digital peeing contest, you know? There's none of that in here. So it just doesn't seem like there was actually like a thought going for PvP. And the third and final thing, and like I said, I'm going to elaborate on all of this, but I'm not against ambushing. It's part of the lore, you know? It's one of the reasons why the Fremen were so feared in the books, the movies. It's because they would just appear out of nowhere, slaughter everything, and then fade. So getting ambushed out in the deep desert or in a PvP area here like this, it is completely 100% on par with the lore, and I support it. I don't like it when it's done to me, but it belongs in the game. What I don't like is the fact that as an ambusher, what's your potential loss? If you lose that fight, what happens? Because the concept here as an ambusher is you know that the fight is about to happen. The person you're ambushing doesn't. So you don't have a whole bunch of stuff on you. You don't have any gear or anything in a backpack that you're going to have to pick up. You pocket your ornithopter. So if you die, when you respawn back at your base or wherever you respawn, you'll still have your vehicles. You'll have all your gear. You just don't get your backpack. But if you don't bring anything, what is there to lose as an ambusher? Nothing. What is there to gain? as either party in there. Like, am I just missing it? Are there PvP stats somewhere? Is there? I know that there's like in the log you could put down that somebody killed you, you killed somebody, but I mean, is there a KD ratio that they talk about? Um, I have weird feelings on KD. A high KD doesn't mean you're awesome. It probably does. It means you're very good, but doesn't mean you're awesome. Some people, means you have a good idea of how the game is supposed to be played, how to get those types of scores. I get incredible KDs coming out of some matches in Battlefield just by staying back and using the mini scout. But when I get up in there into the fight and try to actually take objectives, it gets a little hairy. But anyway, but are there stats? Is there stat tracker? Is there a ranking? Is there a place to go specifically to fight? I don't see it. I see it as a wasting time activity of just going out there and yeah, you get that whole personal where oh well I went against, forgive me, but I went against Wired and he beat me twice, I beat him once. So now I got to settle the score. I don't have the energy to keep track of that stuff in my head. Hell, I'm just now finding out there's bodies laying around that have been there forever. So I mean, that's what I'm going to cover in the PvP part of this. It's not that I don't or won't do it. It's just not on my list of things I'm really all that concerned about. And I'm hoping that when they do the rework, they'll find some ways to make it more meaningful. If it's meaningful, I'll jump on board. But yeah. And then also, I was thinking about doing this. It's my channel, and I get to do it the way I want to. I don't want to do clickbait titles, and I haven't. Anything I do a title on, we get to it and get to it pretty quickly. But everyone does, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but there are a multitude of videos out there talking about whether or not this game is dead. And I thought about putting in my 2 cents as far as this game is dead. You guys get to see how much of this I play and how often I'm on here, so you probably have an idea of whether or not I think it's dead. But I tend to look at things at a more logical position. I don't honestly know what constitutes a dead game. I was talking to my son earlier about it. And I mean, when it really comes down to it, personally for me, a dead game means there is no one playing. Zero. You can't play it. That is 100% a dead game. But then there's those softer, like intangible things. For instance, I also consider a game that is not getting any more updates or support would be a dead game. Mainly because if they're not going to support it and there's no assets or effort from the company that created it to continue to keep it going just because they moved on, it doesn't take long before you start seeing a lot of people glitching and hacking because no one's watching, so who cares? No one's going to get caught. Once that starts happening, I'll walk away. But, what is a player count that constitutes a dead game? How many people have to be playing at any given moment for it to still be considered alive? But I'm going to speak out against the keeping my base powered and tax people, even though taxes are going away in a week, which is whatever. I feel this was another issue I had with Destiny, with Bungie, as they got towards the end of Destiny 2's running life. They started listening to the wrong people. People in the community that were complaining or asking for things. They were listening to the wrong people. Listening to the people who were upset or driven away from taxes every 2 weeks. Watched the video and I showed it to Mrs. Rabbit and I asked her what her opinion was. It was funny because she didn't like the guy's voice. And that's all she focused on. God bless her. But he was bringing up the fact that you can't take a break from Dune Awakening because you have to come back and you have to pay your taxes and you have to refuel your generators. So you can't take a break. And he even mentioned the fact that you get to, you can fuel up your generators for 20 to 30 days and your taxes can go there every 2 weeks, but they don't get all that mad at you if you get a little overdue. So theoretically, once every 3 weeks, you have to log into this game just to make sure everything's hunky-dory and still running. You can't do that. That's not enough of a break for you. Over the course of 3 weeks, you have to spend 1 hour. Tell me you don't pay your own bills without telling me you don't pay your own bills. You know how many things I have to do once a month? And you just live with it. And if you're going to play this type of a game, if you're going to do a survival MMO game, logging in once or twice a month is lenient, I digress. I don't want to get too far into it, though. But yeah, we're going to call it here, guys. I will be back on Monday. Hopefully I'll get one of those videos that I'm talking about finished either tonight or tomorrow and get it posted before Monday. If not, then I'll get it posted on Tuesday for certain. But we should be. The weather looks clear. Life looks like it's returning kind of back to normal. It's screw all cold, but we can deal with that. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you talking. Zach, you didn't say you were there anymore, but I will look at some of the other things you said for skills and abilities to look into. We're going to practice a little bit more with this, go see if we can cause ourselves some trouble and jump into situations without a care in the world that I would usually be very cautious in to see what kind of difference we have. And of course, I still got the rest of those points to spend, but it's really nice to not have any skill points invested in, using a cutter array when I don't do it really anymore. Or, the hunter seeker that I haven't used in forever. So it's good to kind of clean that up. And again, preparing for the Taco Bell. But yeah, preparing for the upcoming chapter 3. If I can, I will stream my experiences with it, like from the get-go. Depends on work schedule and how that looks. But anyway, I'm going to head off here. And I'm going to talk to Mrs. Rabbit real quick. And then I'm going to hit the bathroom. I think another cup of coffee might be in order. Or an early bedtime. I don't know. I'm getting old. It's 7:40 my time. So I only got 20 minutes before Murder, She Wrote and Matlock come on. So I got to cut it short. I'm not that old. I am, but I'm not. But anyway, heading off. Thanks for joining me. Greatly appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, all those things are helping the channel grow. We saw huge growth over the last month. It's incredible. And I don't even know what to do about it. Except smile and be happy and hope that I'm doing a good job. So thank you for tuning in and I will catch you next time. And as always, I will see you out there. Take care.